perfect time. Stranger in words are rhyme, and I used to hate the fooling you, but only in the morning. Now I tolerate him all from long and through those naked trees, at the windows glowing orange, taking over that cold shoulder racing by. I might have known before, if I'd got the soul before, I thought I got too cool to give a damn. But we see in dreams at night seem to spend their afterlives trying hard to live the last one down. Perfect time, strings are ringing and words are rhyming. I used to hate the fooling, but only in the morning. Now I tolerate him all day long.
I'm going to take you back in time to the fall of 1997, which has been on my mind a lot for some reason lately. Our band was brand new. We were not yet middle-aged. Life was crazy. And we just made a record. It wasn't out yet, but we did have a 45. We were just dying to hit the road. And we had this idea that we were going to do this little tour with our friends, the Starring Boys. The mighty Starring Boys. They just made their record and they were ready to get out on the road too. And in 1997, we were trying to do a little bit of touring, but our only mode of transportation was a 1978 Plymouth Voyager van that we called the Huffer. And we've done a lot of stupid shit in our lives, but we weren't about crazy enough to take a couple of 1,000-mile journey in something we called the Huffer. But fortunately, the Starring Boys had just bought a van from some church, and it had First United Baptist Church painted down the side, which of course made them think that they wouldn't get pulled over. And they needed a drummer, and we had one who was more than willing to help. And so we got this idea that we can combine all our gear into their van, and then whoever could ride in there would ride in there, and then the three that wouldn't fit would ride in Cooley's wife Ansley's Mazda Protege. And the tour is going to kick off in Columbus, Ohio, Cooley was living in Durham, and me and Adam, we drove the Huffer up to Durham, and we got there, and Cooley had done the math, and he figured out that we could get to Columbus, Ohio in like 6 hours.
Wasn't my best subject.
About 8 hours into that drive, we're driving up the West Virginia Turnpike, and we're running late as shit, and we're driving, and Cooley's just hauling ass, and it starts pouring down rain, and 18-wheel trucks would pass us, and every time one would pass us, we'd hydroplane just enough to make your asshole do like that. And I'm sitting back there in that back seat, and Adam, who's like 6'6", is sitting in the front seat with his knees up against his cheeks, and Cooley's drinking beer and smoking cigarettes and driving really fast, and it's raining so hard, and I sat back there and I managed to pull my notepad out from under my ass, and I wrote this verse. 80 miles an hour in the West Virginia rain. We're waiting in Columbus, and it's later than you think. Cooley's at the wheel, Adam's at the brake, and I'm jammed in the backseat with my head against my knees. Jammed in the backseat with my head against my knees. Jammed in the backseat with my head against my knees. Shits, jitters, bad coffee, cigarettes, and you couldn't grab a nail. Whip my ass with a sledgehammer. Ohio, about 10:30 that night, just in the nick of time to throw our gear up on that stage and play for the 30 people who were kind enough to pay to see us. And I'm sure we were glorious. And then the Starroom Boys played, and then a headlining band, they were called the Lily Bandits, and they played. When we got backstage after our set, the Lily Bandits were all laid out all over the backstage on couches with garbage pails next to them throwing up. It seems that one of the Lily Bandits had a kid in daycare. He came home with one of them kindergarten diseases. And by the time we hit Columbus, Ohio, that kindergarten disease had wound all the way through the Lily Bandits, and they're all puking their guts out. But nonetheless, they played a spectacular set, and then they took us home with them to stay at their house, and we spent the night. And we got up the next day, and we drove to Chicago. I'd never played in Chicago before. I was so wide-eyed and happy to be there, and we played a pretty good show. And then I woke up the next morning, and that kindergarten disease was starting to wind its way through that First United Baptist van. And Dave Moore had done the math, and he said that to get from Chicago to Lansing, Michigan wasn't very far at all. You just kind of drove around that lake, and it was no big deal. Except that's the day that the snow started falling, and then it started turning to ice, and the wind would pick up the ice from that lake, and it would drop it on the interstate, and we were slip sliding, and I was scared shitless, because I grew up in Alabama, and we didn't have that shit up there. God damn it, Dave Marr. Where are you from anyway, motherfucker? Patterson, you know I grew up in Chicago, and all you Southern boys, you're just too worried about winter time. It's not that big a deal. So we get to Lansing, Michigan, and there's like 10 feet of snow, and we play, and it was kind of fun. And then I woke up the next morning with that kindergarten disease. And we had to drive all the way to Buffalo, New York, and that's when the snow and sleet turned into a full-scale blizzard, and they started closing the highway, and we couldn't stop because we didn't have no money for a room. And I'm sitting there in the middle of that blizzard, and I'm puking in a bag, and I'm goddamn just terrified, and I'm thinking, God damn it, Mom and Dad was right. Motherfuckers, Mom and Dad was right. I should have gone to college. Now I gotta do this shit for the rest of my life. And I wrote this verse. 20 miles an hour in a Pennsylvania blizzard. There ain't no wizard to figure this out. North in the summer, south in the winter. Buffalo, November, what kind of dumbass shit is that? Breathing on my plate, and my stomach's turned to acid. I smell really bad. My stomach's turned to acid. I smell really bad. My stomach's turned to acid. And I smell really bad. But tell him Daddy's coming home Sunday by night, and I'll kiss the ground and I cross. Thank you, motherfuckers.